to me. Don't be shy. I just wanna talk to you.
I'm just going to go to the kitchen and get a coffee. Is that okay?
Yes, this is a cup for you. This is
Okay.
the Glenna cup that I
That's
want
brilliant.
to find.
Hello, this program is going to be a little bit about bird watching, which is my hobby and a popular hobby in Britain and in much of Northwest Europe.
Full name.
Paul Bradbeer, not James Bond.
Nationality.
My nationality is British. I am from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Occupation.
My occupation is as an English teacher at the University of Economics and Law.
Hobby.
Bird watching, which is practically my all-consuming passion. That's fine. Gosh, that's a booted eagle. That's a Ariol Carli. This is a pale one. This has got white under the wings, black wingtips. Now it's gaining height. Okay.
I just wanna talk to you.
I started bird watching almost exactly 40 years ago when I was a little boy, when I was 7. My parents were bird watchers and there was a lot of encouragement and a lot of opportunity. The hobby can be traced back right to the 19th century when enthusiasts would be shooting birds and collecting a specimen for their collections, and to watching of live birds without doing them harm can be traced back even longer. A pioneer naturalist being Gilbert White. He was a clergyman in the Church of England who poetically and at the same time rather scientifically paid attention to birds in his native area of southern England in the late 18th century.
Термин «бёрдинг» переводится как «наблюдение за птицами в естественных условиях проживания». Поначалу бёрдинг был развлечением исключительно английской знати. Сам Чарльз Дарвин утверждал, что истинный джентльмен не может не быть орнитологом. В наши дни бёрдингом в странах Северной Европы увлекаются больше, чем рыбной ловлей и охотой. А в США насчитывается около 42 миллионов бёрдеров. Каждый из них тратит на свое хобби около $5000 в год. Среди увлеченных орнитологов-любителей принц Чарльз и Билл Гейтс.
I can appreciate that part of the attraction of bird watching does coincide with other kind of open-air hobbies, and the experience of being in the outdoors and being in the countryside in fresh air, relaxing environment, that certainly is part of the process. But I would say that in contrast to fishing, the birds nevertheless are centerpiece. They are the focus. For me, birds have always provided a lot of the glamour in life, and each kind of bird is a kind of living, biological, reproducible piece of art produced by nature. And most of us don't appreciate how many of these artworks, enchanting artworks, surround us and can surprise us at any time, at any moment. This is curious. Now this is a group of young ducks. Utjatki, this is like in Disney. Oh, that's what. Now they've died. They're scared of me.
Пол, а у вас есть любимая птица?
That's a good and a difficult question to answer because there are so many birds. Often it happens to be the latest particularly charismatic bird that I've seen. I could show a picture in here. There's a kind of falcon called Chegluk, which I may be able to find. Well, Chegluk is the Russian. Here at the top is Hobby. So if you look at the top of the page and you can see the falcon, the Hobby, and which is a supremely elegant long-winged falcon with immaculate contrasting plumage. You may just see the kind of red trousers just above the legs. I have a whole favorite group of birds, which is wading birds, kuliki, and birds of bolota. I could perhaps show a few pictures of these, and
А когда вы наблюдаете за куликами, вы тоже сидите на болоте?
oh yeah, I'm a bolotny человек. Here are some kuliki. This is just one page at random with some marsh birds.
Пол, а на какую птицу вы похожи?
I like to think that I'm like a skua, поморник, but I'm not. Может, я покажу? This is как хищные морские птицы. They move quickly. I like to move quickly and to feel confident. But these birds, they steal fish from other seabirds. And I'm not like that because I'm not really into stealing. Gosh, that's Chayka. This is from the colony of gulls at Salyoni Liman, and it's going out to feed. Oh no, and that's attacking me.
Пол, а каким вы пользуетесь снаряжением?
That's a very good question. Well, here you can see binoculars. Okay, these are my binoculars, 8.5 times magnification, bought in Britain. Those are very good for first spotting the bird. If I'm scanning, shall I scan? Okay, so I'm scanning to see. Uch ty, tam, oh, kulik воробей. That was a little stint. In fact, это не только один, там несколько. Those are little stint, kulik воробей.
Кулик-воробей. Ареал обитания от тундры Норвегии до низовья Лены. Но зимовать эти птицы отправляются в Африку и в Австралию. Кулики-воробьи не суетливые птицы и довольно безразличны к присутствию человека. Питаются главным образом насекомыми, реже моллюсками и мелкими ракообразными. Продолжительность жизни кулика-воробья 12 лет.
Now, binoculars are fine when the birds are close or for spotting the birds, but if the birds are very far away, then you need a telescope. Here is my telescope. This is 27 times magnification. I've had the telescope for 20 years. You can see it's a little bit frayed, and it has a very sharp resolution, so a very fine, precise image. Telescopes are very useful for birds like birds of prey, хищные птицы, and for kuliki because they are very wary, очень пугливы, they fly away, and if you come too close and try to see them with binoculars, they will go away and they will say goodbye. Where I watch birds depends on the region and where the variety is greatest. For example, in India, the greatest diversity, the greatest biodiversity of birds tends to be in the forest. And in India, I spent a lot of time watching forest birds, which actually demands a lot of patience because often the birds are invisible, as it were, they're hiding in the trees, and yet suddenly a whole feeding party with many species might come right in front of you and you won't really know where to look.
Сегодня в Европе сотни турфирм предлагают туры для бёрдеров. Самые популярные места для бёрдинга. Англия, графство Норфолк. Сюда прилетают птицы-мигранты из Скандинавии, с континента. Тринидад и Тобаго. Лагуна Корони. Место обитания алых ибисов. Гватемальское высокогорье. Место обитания квизала, самой красивой птицы Америки. Аляска – остров Святого Лаврентия. Самые большие птичьи базары насчитывают не меньше 1 миллиона птиц. Новая Зеландия, субантарктические острова. Альбатросы, буревестники, 8 видов пингвинов и 15 видов птиц-эндемиков. Папуа-Новая Гвинея, долина Тари. Место обитания райских птичек, одних из самых экзотичных в мире.
When I was bird watching in India, the only thing that was dangerous or frightening was my own fears. I was in the, let's see, Nilgiri Hills, so I would have been near elephant country. I was in mountain country, densely forested. But I was worried that with all this dense vegetation, that around any corner there could be elephants and they might not like me. Equally, when I was in Nepal in the Royal Chitwan National Park, I had crossed the river from the tourist sort of encampment and tourist lodges into the main part of the park. I had to walk through grass which was 2 or 3 meters along a path. And so for half an hour I was worried that at any point, theoretically, a one-horned rhinoceros or a tiger could jump out at me and finish me off. But that didn't happen because rhinoceroses and tigers are fairly thinly scattered and they had better things to do. Well, if I'd gone to New Zealand, the kind of very bulky parrot, the kea, would probably have maybe tried to take my binoculars apart or maybe take my clothes apart. And that parrot is an exceptional, an extreme case of kind of curiosity.
Попугай киа – исчезающий вид. Живут в горах Новой Зеландии на высоте 1600 метров над уровнем моря. Привыкли к человеку и крайне любопытны. Часто встречаются у горнолыжных домиков и туристских отелей. Их привлекают мусорные свалки. Киа любят кувыркаться в снегу или принимать ванны в лужах из талого снега.
As for birds finding me strange, it's maybe a very everyday case in spring and summer. If I'm going too close to the nest of a wading bird, the birds will be trying to distract me. They'll be running along the ground with the wings outstretched, calling, going something like beep, 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 and trying to distract me from where the nest is. Or they will be flying around my head, calling anxiously. But generally birds go about their business and if you don't disturb them, they really don't care about you. And they don't care that there's a financial crisis. They don't even know about a financial crisis. And they don't really care about issues of language and nationality. And maybe that kind of a parallel universe is part of the attraction of birds. Oh, that's lovely. This is это varakushka, a blue throat. And it's singing. Very attractive, just the size of a sparrow, sitting on a reed, and it has a song with a lot of mimicry. Yeah, now it's making fun of lots of other birds. People are creatures. We are programmed to have children and to be attracted and to pay courtship to each other. So, for example, birds with more elaborate courtship rituals, they perhaps are similar to couples, romantic couples who are paying attention to each other with courtesy and sensitivity. Boys, or a lot of boys, like to fight, and you get plenty of fighting among birds. Zorianka, robin, which is a common garden bird in Britain, when they do fight, they can fight very fiercely and they can even kill each other. For my lifetime and the lifetime of any birder, there is the endless possibility of something new. There are over 10,000 species of birds in the world, and a lot of people go on seeing new birds for themselves until old age stops them traveling. And because a lot of birds are vulnerable, of course, as you hear all the time, that we should take some thought for our environment and for other creatures on the planet, and that we should not trash the planet and destroy all its resources. Hi, bye. It was good to see you. I hope you get the chance to see some birds, maybe on your holidays or even today, and maybe even take a long-term interest.
Don't lie to me. Don't be shy. I just wanna talk to you.